Okay. Okay, so I think this is Atika, your answer. So I want to point out a couple of things here. I mean, mainly, most of you had this problem, right? Right. Okay, when you, I think almost everyone got one thing correct, the symbols. The symbols, almost everyone got this correct, right? You have used the right symbols. So that's what I expected mostly. So, but second point, okay, when you write okay, when you look at this one, this example question, so input the distance in a kilometer and you have to convert it to miles, so you know how to do this. Okay, so now when you take Zahrin, I mean, you have to look, you have to see this when you consider the input, right? Okay, now it's like this. Okay, think like this. Okay, you have a calculator, you have a simple calculator where you can enter the distance in kilometer. Let's say distance in kilometer. Okay, this is in kilometer, and then the calculator will show the distance in miles. It's like this, right? Very simple program. Miles, sorry. Then the calculator will display the distance in miles. So you can think of like this. Now look at this example. so so basically we have to enter the distance in kilometer. Okay, so you don't need to enter the distance in mile as well. Okay, so when you write this input part, you have to input the distance in kilometer. Some students try to include this part also. That is wrong, right? Because you know why? The mile we calculated, so that's happened inside the process here, and that is the idea of this program, because we want to find out the mile, right? So don't include that in the input part. So when you write as input, don't include that part. Is that clear? Right, second point. Right now, uh, okay, we say distance in kilometer, this part. Okay, right, there's a thing called variables, right? Variables mean it's like it's like when you write programs, we use variables. Variable means it's like the containers. If you think of the containers, maybe the containers you have in your kitchen, right? Okay, you have separate container, one for, let's say, sugar, then another one for, let's say, milk powder, although we don't have that these days. Milk powder. What else you have? Something like for chili, right? Like that, right? So there are separate containers, right? For, can you put sugar and milk into one container? Can you put sugar and milk into one container? What do you think? Yes, I just need your feedback, right? So maybe you can talk if you want. You can't, right? Because you can't mix together. How about putting milk and the chili in one container? So give me a minute. Right. So we know we have to have a separate container for each of this, right? Each of this, you should have a separate container. Like that, when you write a program, okay, for each input, you should use a separate variable. Separate variable. Variable is something like the containers, right? basically what happens is variable hold the value. Let's say, for example, you are entering the kilometer like 10 kilometers. So variable, let's say this is the variable you are saying distance. So this variables holds that value 10 kilometer into that container, right? That actually this happens, I mean, inside the RAM, random access memory. So this variable created in the random access memory of the computer, it's like the container, you can think. So it's hold that value, your input value. Is that clear? So when you enter the first value, let's say you are entering 10 as your first value, right? So what happens to the variable here? The first value will be assigned to that 10. Now let's say, okay, you are entering the distance as 15 now, 15 kilometers. Now what would be in the variable here, in the container? What is the amount you will see here? Yes, you can just respond. What would be the amount you will see here in the box? 15 or 10, or is it like 25? 15. So what happened to the 10? What happened to the 10? This will be overwritten. This will be overwritten by the new one. This is basically about variable, but we will learn that in detail little later, right? So variable is like a container. For each one, you should have a separate container. Is that clear? Right. Now, when you write this flow charts, when you write flow chart, right? When you write flow chart, you should mention separate variable names. You should mention separate variable names for each of these variables, right? So, okay. If you want, you can just note down this. I mean, we will learn that later when we learn Pascal. So basically, variable is a container for each one. Okay, now we have distance in kilometer. No, that is one variable. Look at this one. We have distance in kilometer. That is one variable. Okay, this is the one container, distance in kilometer. Right. Then when you have another output, that is distance in mile, can you use the same container? It's like if this is chili and this is like sugar. Then can you use the same container for the both? Can't, right? You have to have a different one. You have to have a different container. Is that clear now? That's why I want you to use different names for each of input and each of the output, and even for the process. Let's say this is mile now. Then this is another item, like let's say you have a milk powder. This is another container. You should need another container. Like that, each of this item you should use a different one. But here I think that these both are same, no? Both are same, right? So is that clear? Right. Now we have a question. When you name this input variable, right? Variable. I will give the notes, right? Try to understand this. Okay, you should follow a small. I mean, this is not a hard and fast rule, right? Hard and fast rule, because with flowchart mainly you should focus on this symbol, but there's a practice. I mean, you will understand why that later. So just follow what I'm teaching here, or you might not. I mean, maybe I don't know. You might have learned a different way, but okay, just follow what I teach here. Uh, Okay, I will explain that later, because when we start doing some programs, or when we write a pseudocode, I will explain why is this, right? So here, when you select this name, distance in kilometer. Okay. Now we have a question. We don't write the name like this with pseudocode because this is a variable, single variable. So you have to write a single name. You have to write a single name. Maybe you can select something like distance underscore kilometer, right? You can use any name, a meaningful name, starting from character A, simple capital A to capital Z, or simple A to simple Z. So you can use any name for this, but you don't start with numbers, right? And you don't keep blanks in between these names, like distance in kilometer. We don't write this. This is not a practice. Okay, this is not in practice. We don't like this way. Although we don't say this is wrong, right? Because there's no hard and fast rules in flowchart how to write this, text. Some symbols are important in flowchart, but when it comes to the text, yeah. But as I said, you just follow what I teach here. Okay, you have to name like this. Maybe you can use something like this also. Distance underscore km. That's also fine. This is also correct. This is also correct. But we don't use names like this with spaces. Distance in kilometer. So you can say input. You can simply say input distance underscore the kilometer. Is that clear? So you can correct your paper. You can write down this in your book. Right now, okay. Now look at this one. Okay, mile. Yeah, okay. This is okay. Mile is equal to kilometer divided by 1.6. This part is okay. What about third part? Display distance in mile. What do you think? The third one. Display the distance. So can you suggest a proper name for this? Karthika, what do you think? This is your answer. Can you suggest a name for this one? Yeah, distance underscore mile, or maybe yes, this whatever, right? But remember, you should use a single name here, as I said earlier, a single single distance underscore mile. That's fine. Okay, but if you use that now, okay, you can use this way, distance underscore mile. Okay, so if we put just input kilometer value, yeah, that's what I'm saying. This input kilometer value, now that is when you write something in English, that's correct, right? Okay, that is correct. When you write something in English, that is correct. But now you have to change that, right? You may not, I mean, you might not learn this, right? Or I don't know. You have to correct this now. You have to change yourself now. Input kilometer in value. Okay, if someone write like this, input kilometer, what is that? Input kilometer value. Kilometer, okay, input kilometer value. This is okay. Now, if you look at this one, okay, what is the problem here? What is the problem in this one? Yes, what do you think? Wait, still. Okay. Now, what is the problem with this one? Question doesn't include a value. No, okay. Input kilometer in value mean there is no, what is the variable here? If you see input kilometer in value, what is the variable? Yes, what is the variable we have used? So I want you people to talk. Numbers, no, because they are saying input kilometer in value. We don't know what is the variable. So it's not a single word. That's one reason. And when you read this input kilometer in value, maybe we are not, because the variable is not clear. So you have to tell input, right? If you want input, maybe you can say input came, that's fine. Input came, that's a variable, yes, because it's like in English letters, okay. But when you look at the came, okay, if someone sees this, let's say he is not familiar with this question, it's difficult to understand, because if you don't know the question, it's very difficult to understand. Okay, what is this game? Is it candy, or is kilometer, or is something else? So that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying use a meaningful name, meaningful. So it should give some meaning. So when someone else, go through this, he or she should be able to understand what you are trying to say. What I mean, when you write a program in practical life, right? Usually, you don't write it alone nowadays. You work with other colleagues or other team members. It's like a teamwork always. So you should write programs such that others can, understand. They should be able to understand your code. So that's why I'm saying, okay, just write, just follow what I'm teaching here. You should say input. Maybe you can change. Maybe you can say kilometer underscore distance, because why I'm using underscore, because I want to make it a single word. Or if you want, you can write this also, distance without distance in K, without using an underscore. Or you can use like distance, you can say something like, okay, kilometer. But this is long, no, this is too long. That's why I don't want to use. So you can use a simple variable name, right? That's fine. Okay, now this is the point here. So first example. Okay, let's note down this. Okay, you can write down some of this. Okay, right. Okay, note down this. Remember these symbols we learned last class, right? I think this is clear to most of you, right? Okay, now write down this part, variables. Okay, variable start with A to capital A to Z or simple. So if we write distance in km, is it wrong? Yes, it's wrong. It's wrong. If you write, that's wrong, because you know, yeah, you can say it's wrong, right? Because now you have to just now look at this, Umar. Now only you are learning this programming part. So I don't want to, I mean, it's actually not wrong, but you should, you should understand, I mean, you should learn the basics clearly. You should learn the basics clearly. So this is a basic idea, right? How to write the variables. So let's start practicing this from the flowcharts, right? Although maybe it's right, even if you write without that, but don't do that. But if you write next time for my questions, I will put wrong. Okay, so I will consider that as wrong. So you have to change yourself, right? Maybe you think, okay, why should I write like this? Because this is okay. No, it's not like this. Uh, you have to change yourself, right? If any questions, if you don't understand about this one, please let me know. Is it okay if we put output miles for the last one, or should we put output distance miles? No, you can use like, okay, if you put like this, okay, output, no, output is, or you are saying the display. Yeah, you can say just miles. That's fine. That's fine. It's not wrong. Yeah, if you want, you can say, okay, I will go back to that. Okay, finish this one. Okay, you can't start with a number. Don't start with numbers. So we will learn that this one later in detail. Okay, this is some very basic idea about variable. So you have to understand a variable is like a container. It's like a container in the random access memory. So when you say input, when you say input temperature in Celsius, that means when you say like this, what will happen is a separate place, or it's like a container will be given to you, so that you can keep all, or you can store all of your temperature values in Celsius, right? For this is, I mean, in random access memory, this will be created. Okay, when you say input the variable, so variable is basically created, it's like memory locations, right? So it's like temporary and cell. And if you say another variable like distance in kilometer, that will be again another memory, that another content. This is another variable, right? So as I said, you can't mix this, right? You can't mix the container with chili and the milk powder. What happen if you do that? So you don't, or you can't mix that, right? Try to understand this. You don't mix the variable, right? You don't put this distance, I mean, temperature into here. So each time you should use a different location. Okay, we will do that later. Okay. Now, if you go back to this one, just that example. Okay. Okay, this one. Look at this one. Yeah, you can, Zuhra, yeah, you can say mile equal, this is fine, this variable is okay. Then you have to say display mile. Look at this one, Artika. The problem is display mile, because my variable is mile. So you don't need to say display the distance in mile. So here you say input distance, this what are the variable, then okay, if you define like this, that's okay. Then when you display it, you have to say that name only. This one should come here, exact name. Is that clear? Because I didn't check that when I correct your homework. I didn't really I mean, I just want to see whether you guys or you people understood the symbols. So I just, put right. If the symbol is correct, I just put the right. If the symbol is wrong, so it's wrong. It's like it's wrong. Okay. Now, is that clear? You can correct your ones, right? Okay. If you have a different answer, if you have a different idea, you can ask me. It's okay. We just started. No, this is the first one, so it's okay. Okay, let's go to the second homework. Let me open the second one. Right, if you take the second one, so I'll take Artika's one again. Right. Right, hope you can see this now. Right, now, okay, now look at this one. How do you correct this one? Second one. How do you correct? You can suggest, you can suggest some idea. Okay, input the radius now. Now here, Artika, look at this one. You try to define two variables now. You are saying input radius, and maybe you are saying, okay, my radius is r. If we put display distance mile, is it correct? Yes, distance. Yeah, that's correct. If you want, you can write. If you want to say, okay. Wait. Okay. it's not actually wrong, but try to understand. I'm actually try to introduce a good programming practice. Maybe you don't understand what I'm saying in this stage, so just try to follow what I'm saying. Okay, so you're asking, what is this, Asika? You're asking display like this, right? You're saying distance underscore mile. Is this what you're saying? Yes. Okay. Okay. Now, okay, you can, everyone look at this one. Okay, if she wants to display distance in miles, okay, but she has, I mean, look at this one here. She has, assign or process this one here. Mile is equal to this one. Now, if she use display here, what would be the problem? What would be the problem? Yes, right. What do you think? What is the problem here, Najan? So if
The value won't be displayed because this distance underscore mile uh, variable isn't used in the calculation.
yes, very good. So if you look at this one, Atika, so here we have not calculated this variable, right? So with this variable is not calculated here. Instead, we have the mile. So that is a problem. So if you want to use distance mile, then for the calculation part also you have to say distance underscore mile is equal this. Then of course you can display that value. It's like this. Okay, you are using a container for chili. Okay, let's say this is container for chili. Let's say this is a container name C. This is for chili. Now you are displaying a different container, which is, let's say, R. Now, can you display chili? Can you take chili from the container R? Because chili is inside C. Input kilometers. Input kilometers, that's fine. Yeah, input if you want. Okay, if you want, you can write like this also. Input kilometers. But okay, here this is okay. But the thing is, basically we are entering the distance. No, it's better if you include the word distance as well, because this should be a meaningful one. Then others can understand what you are doing. Okay, so okay, we have various options. Basically, try to enter a single word, right? Single word. That's the main idea here. Okay, let's go to the next one. Right now, let's look at this one. Okay, let's look at this homework. Second one. Okay, can you correct this one? Input the radius. How do you correct this one? How do you correct the input radius one? This part. So we don't need to say R and both. Input R, that's one option. Yes, you can say input R. Okay. Now look at this one. Input R. Okay, what do you think, Raisa? What do you think if we say input R? Can you understand? You don't know this question. Let's assume you are an alien. You are a outsider to this problem. So if we say input R, is this a meaningful name? So it's not meaningful. So better if we say input radius only. Yes, you can say input radius. But this is basically not wrong, but this is not meaningful. This is not meaningful. That's what I want to say. This is not wrong, but not meaningful. So better if you use input radius. Any questions? Okay. Now here area equal this. That's okay. This is an okay. See, this one is okay. Then displaying the area. This part is fine because you define the variable area and you calculated the area and you display the area. Check your answers, check your ones. If you find something different, you have to correct it, or you can ask me. I'm just taking one example here. Is that clear now? Yeah, Zuhra, yes, you don't need to say input radius R again. Okay. Do you need to say like something like this? Input radius underscore R? No, because I don't, maybe if you say that's fine, but not necessary. This one, not wrong, but not necessary. This is not necessary. Maybe either you can use radius or R, right? Okay. But the problem with the R is it's not meaningful. This is not meaningful, right? So you should select a meaningful name. That doesn't mean you should select a detailed name. Input, what do you call, radius of a circle. That's not necessary, right? Maybe you can say radius. You anyway, radius means circle. Okay, is that clear? You can correct your ones. Can we say input radius as r to use r in further calculation? Then if you think like that, okay, then better Reha, right? You better use r. If you have a long calculation with this one is simple one. Yes, Hani. Yes, I'll come to that point. Now, okay, now here, if you think you have a long calculation, then you can say input r, that's fine. Even if you say input r, that's not wrong. I'm saying only problem with the input r thing is the name is not meaningful, right? That's fine. Okay, now we have another question. Okay, if we say input radius here, we are saying input radius. Okay, I'll come to the Hani's question, radius. Now let's say, okay, I have written like this, input radius. This one is correct now. How about the second line? What do you think about the second line? Now you have to think, right? Like you should think like a computer, like a dummy machine. Computer doesn't understand anything in its own. Yes, Najat is correct. R should be written as radius. Very good. Instead of R, we have to use radius. Exactly. Because now the R is an unknown one. We don't know what is R. Or R is an undefined one. So you have to use radius here instead of R. Now display the area. This is correct because area is already defined. This is very important. That's why I'm taking little time. This is very important. You should understand this. Is that clear? Okay, let's take the last one as well. Okay, last one. Okay, now interesting one, very important one. Okay, can you find out the first the input the C? Okay, what do you think about this part? Yes, you can. What do you think, Najat? Can we say Celsius like this? Can we? Yes, yes. There are alternative names. Yes, temperature in Celsius. Yes, that's an idea. Because Atika, you can't input a variable with like this. Maybe you can write it, but you can't create a variable, right? So, and this is not clear. If you say just C, it's not clear. So better you say input. You can say input. We are talking talking about temperature. No? You can say temperature underscore C. You can stop like this, or if you want, you can put cell, whatever. Or let's say underscore C, right? So this is a kind of little. I mean, this is little better than the just you are saying 0C. Oh, right. Again, now look at this F1. How do you define this variable? Yes, how do you define Lakshini? How do you define this variable? Can you suggest a meaningful name for this? Lakshini is not here. Nirukshi, what do you think? How do you define a proper variable here? Yes, degree Celsius, is this okay? Okay, degree Celsius, is this okay? Okay, we'll ask others also. Degree Celsius, I mean, you are saying the input variable. Okay, input, okay, okay. If someone says input degree Celsius, is this correct? Is this correct according to what we have learned now? Is this correct? What do you think? No, because we don't use this way. What is the problem here? You have two words. You have to make it one. If you want to write like this, you can write input, right? Degree underscore C, because you should, I mean, you don't write, usually we don't write long variable names. So better, or if you want, you can write it like this also, degree underscore Celsius, to make it a single word. But better if you make it something degree underscore C. That's you know, a simple one. Right. Again, now if you define the F, you can define this as temperature underscore F Fahrenheit. Then you have to change it this as well. This should be temperature underscore F. If you say this one is underscore F underscore, this is not dash, this is not dash, don't use the dash, underscores. Okay, is that clear now? You can correct this one. You can write, maybe you can edit your answers. So we should change the C in equation, right? We should change the, yes, good, very good. So yes, here we have another point. Okay, this is, if you write temperature underscore C, then what will happen to this formula? Okay, if it is temperature underscore F, okay, then here you can't say C, you have to say temperature underscore C into 1.8 plus 32, right? Yes, good. And again, here you have to say temperature underscore F. Okay, is that clear? And don't use softwares when you draw this. You should use your pen and paper, right? So don't use softwares. Right now, any questions? Okay, now let's move to the next. Now so far what we have discussed is about what you call sequence, right? If you look at all the questions, these are sequential ones. Can you remember what is sequential one? The flow of these questions, there's no conditions, there's no repetitions, all are sequence one. Okay, so far we have discussed how to draw flow charts for the sequential structures. Simple flow chart. Yes, it's a simple one. So it's a sequential structure, right? Raisa, we say sequential one. Now let's start with the conditional one. You can write down the heading conditional selection structure. Selection structure. And that we have the simple selection, because there are some other type of selection that but we are not going to do that. So you can write this as simple selection. Okay, when you do flow chart in an online class, what you have to do is, so what I expect you people to do is to work with me. Okay, you write down, I mean, whenever I give an homework or exercise, you do it then and there, then we discuss that, right? Then if there's any mistake, you should correct it. It's like this flow chart is like you are learning algebra or mathematics. This is more like a mathematics part, right? Let's say you are learning something like, let's say a quadratic equation, or any let's say any algebra, right? Or then how do we learn maths? Basically we do exercise, right? We practice, right? That is how we learn maths, right? So you do more exercise, you do more sums in order to get a clear idea. Like that, in flowchart we have to practice. So we have to practice to get an idea, right? So you have to practice. Basically you have to work on this, right? If I give a homework or if I ask you to do something during the class hours, you have to write, because I can't come, I don't see anything in the background. So if you don't work, you won't be able to understand this section. Remember this. Maybe write down this in your book. If you don't work, if you don't draw the flow charts, if you don't do the homework, you won't be able to understand this section. You can write it down wherever, right? You want. So you should work with me. So that's the basic idea. Right. Now look at this one. In the simple selection, okay, the selection mean what? If we say, okay, if it is, if temperature is greater than 30, switch on the fan. That is a condition, right? We are saying. Okay, now now we first let's note down this. Okay, I will tell you why. when you have these conditions, let's say if you want to compare like greater than, you can use like this, greater than y. We have two variables. Okay, let's say you have a number 1 and number 2. If you want to compare, you can use this greater than sign. Or if you want to compare like this, if number 1 less than, you can use like this. Or if you want to say number 1 equal, you can use double equal sign with flowchart. Okay. And if you want to say number 1 greater or equal, you can say like this, right? There is no this way. You don't write this way. You note down this example, condition symbols. These are the, we have to use condition symbol. You can write down like this, n1 greater than n2, first one. Second one, n2 less than, n1 less than, you can use the less than symbol. Then equal symbol is little different. You use the double equations here. And the greater than or equal is also different. You don't use the usual mathematical greater than or equal. And less than or equal, the similar way, n1 less than or equal n2. And you don't use the mathematical less than part. Note down this one. Okay, done. Okay. So we'll take a simple example. Okay, write down this question. Draw a flow chart for the following. So we'll start like this. First one. Enter the age of a person in years. Enter the age of a person in years. Enter the age of a person in years. If a person is 80 years or 80 years of age or older, you have to display as adult. Oh, what is that? Okay. Hold on, something happened. Right, sorry. If enter the age of a person in years, if a person is 18 years of age or older, display as adult. If not, he is less than 18, right? You have to display as child. Basically, you ask the user to enter the age, okay? Okay, it's like this. You can think of some program like this. You are asking the user to enter the age or input the age. You say input the age, right? Then the system, the program should check the age. If the age, let's say, okay, he entered like 25, then you can display a message in the screen like, you are an adult. Or if he entered like, say, 16, you should display a message like child. Clear? So this is basically the idea, right? We don't design the output screen here now. Now you have to think of this algorithm. This algorithm. How do you going to do this one? right? First think of this algorithm, then we will build the flow chart. Okay, so just think this, how to do this one. Enter the age. So, okay, what are the inputs now? Okay, how do I process this? So what would be the output? Okay, let's do this one. Since this is the first one, we'll do it. Maybe later you can do your homework or other exercises. Okay, I'll show you how to do this one. Right? This is the question. Right, this is the question. Right. Give me a minute. I have to. Right. Right. Now look at this one. How do we do this? How do we start? Okay. First, you know how to start a flow chart. How do you start a flow chart? So you have to start with this parallelogram, sorry, starting symbol, right? This. So you write start, right? You can write start like this. Okay. Now, okay. First you start it. What should be the first step? Enter the age of a person. Read this question. Enter the age of a person. Enter the age of a person in years. So what is this? This is my, what is this? This is my input, right? That is my input, yes. So now you know that is the input. So let's write the input here. So how do you create the input? That should be the parallelogram. That's clear now? That's the first idea. Input age in years. Yeah, that's a good variable, Atika. Age in years. Very good. So see, you are learning now, right? So you can say input, right? Maybe you can say age here. We don't need to have years. There's one reason, because you know we are not going to, we don't have another variable. So basically you can say input age, right? Because if you have another variable like temperature in Celsius and temperature in Fahrenheit, maybe you can say age in years. Or maybe, okay, you can leave like this also, that's okay. But I'm going to just use the age. That's enough, right? Oops. Okay, input age. Is that clear? Don't draw it. I will give time. So let me make it little bigger. Okay, input age. Okay, now we have important part. Okay, after taking the age, as I said earlier, you are asking the user to input the age. You are saying input. Wait, input the age. So you are saying input the age. Okay, now user enters 25, for example. Now what should be the message? What should be the message? If he enters 25, you should say he is an adult, right? Now there is a condition. There is a condition here. There is a selection or condition. We say selection is here. So what is the selection structure? What is the symbol we use? We have to use in the selection. That is the diamond. Say we use a diamond symbol here. Diamond, right? So first, let me draw it. Sorry. Right, we'll use a diamond symbol. So this is how, this is the selection symbol. Is that clear now? So when you write it inside, is input person age is okay. Input person underscore age is okay, Rinas. But in this case, you can leave as just as age. Okay, maybe that's fine. Your answer also fine. That is not wrong. Okay. Okay. Now we say if age is what is the condition? Age is greater than 18. If age is greater than 18. Look at this one. The condition, I'm writing the condition now. If age is greater than 18. Now, here, read the question. Question says, if the age is greater than 18, 18 years of age or older, that means what? 18 or older mean what? what this mean? I mean, what does this mean by 18 or old? Are equal. Very good. So this is like 18. Oh, you check your mics, please. 18 greater than or equal. If it is maybe 18, maybe 19, 20, like that, plus, right? So we have to write 18 or equal sign. You have to include the equal sign. If age is this like this, okay, now we have two options. Look at this one. We have two options. One is this can be true, this can be false. This can be greater than 18 or this can be less than 18. So we have two branches. Now we have two branches for this condition, right? Now how do you write it? Okay, now let's take first one. If the age is, let's say if the age is, sorry. Now, if the age is 18 plus, we have to display the message. Okay, look at this one. Now you have to think, if the age is greater than 18 plus, you have to display as what? You have to display as what? A message as he is an adult. Now, now displaying a message, is this a process or output? It's clear this is an output. So what would be the symbol? If it is an output, what is the symbol? We know, right? If it is an output, we have to use the parallelogram. So we use the parallelogram. This is how you build this, right? This is how you have to build, even if you don't understand. Now, inside the parallelogram, you write display adult, right? Display adult. Let me make it little bigger. Now, display adult. Okay. Or let me make it 14. Okay. Display adult. This is the message. If this is true, you have to display as adult. Right? Is that clear? Right. Now, but now we have another option. What is that? If the condition is not true, now you have to display what? If the condition is not true, you have to say display or output either, right? Child. We have to say, okay, you are a child. Is that clear now? This is how you build a conditional flowchart with conditions. But again, we have another thing to add. Still, we are not complete. Yeah, we have not complete. So don't we put to yes, still we are not completed, right? Okay, wait. Now we have to include another thing. If this condition, okay, display adult, if the condition is true, if he is 18 plus, you have to say adult. If it is no, if he is less than 18, you have to say child. So you have to include yes and no in that line. Okay. Okay, now still we are not done. You know, always you have to end the flow chart. You have to end the flow chart. Okay. Now, how do we end it? Now, okay, now look at this one. You have a problem now. Okay, now we say, if I type something like this, okay, okay, this is how I have to end this one, right? Maybe, okay, we can join it. Okay, this is the end of the flow chart. Sometimes, okay. Right now, we say this is the end. This is the end, right? Sorry about the alignment. Okay, this is okay. Right now, look at this one. Now, very important. Try to understand this. Now, so you are saying, okay, input the age. If he is 18 plus, display the word adult and in the flow chart. Is that clear? Okay, now what do you think, Mayada? What do you think? If the age is less than 18, okay, you have to display display as child, but it's not connected to the end. So you have to connect this one also to the end. This one also to the end. See, so both you have to connect to the end because, right? Even if you say 18 plus or 18 below, you should end this flowchart. There are some places sometimes you don't put that to the end. That we will learn later. Now here both option you have to say you have to connect to the end, right? So let me type it like this, then it's easy. Yes, this is yes. As I said earlier also, you have to work, you have to draw this with I mean during this class time. Don't just watch. I mean, okay, now you can copy down this. Okay, this is how you build the flowchart. See, you have two branches for a condition, if and else, right? You have two branches. So first one, and sometimes you do, I mean, you can omit this if condition, just say age is this. Okay, now there's another point. Okay, first draw this one. First finish drawing this, then I will explain that one. There's another thing I have to explain. Okay, you can draw now, you can complete this one. Okay, any questions? If you don't understand anything, if you don't understand, please let me know. If you don't understand, okay. Sarah, any questions? Right. As I said, this is like mathematics. We have to practice. So then only you will understand clearly. So let's do questions here, right? Usually, you know, for exam, you can earn in O level final exam. You can earn how many marks? How many marks you can earn from this section? From unit 1, how many marks you can earn? MCQ, yes, how many marks? Anyone, if you knows? 10? No. How many marks? Like MCQ, around 4 to 5 marks? 4 to 5 marks, including the Pascal programming question. Rinas 4 marks, Risa 13? No. 30, that's too much, no? 4 to 5 from the MCQ, then again like 10 or 12 marks from this, right? Part 2, 10 to 12 marks. Yes, all together around 15, you can say on average 15 to 17. 15 marks, right? 15 to 17 marks, very important question, right? Not only from the flowchart. So this includes the pseudocode and the Pascal programming as well, right? So this is very important. This section is very important. MCQC alone you can earn 4 to 5 marks, right? Okay. Now there's another point. Try to understand this. Now when you display, now look at this one. Go to your previous example. If you have the previous one, cancel. Okay, the temperature. Let's take okay, display. Okay, look at this one carefully. Display the area or display temperature in Fahrenheit or display. What is the other one? What is the other example? Area, temperature, mile. Okay, display the distance in mile. Okay, distance in mile. Now we have display the adult. Now, okay, look at this one. Carefully think. I want you guys to think, right? Okay, what if you look at these three examples, and when you compare with the last one, there's a clear difference. What is that? What is the difference? What is the difference you see with these first three and the last one? What is the difference? Rima, can you tell me the difference? What is the difference you see in these three examples? Arkam, what do you see? What is the difference you see here? What is the difference you see? Any yes, Raisa, what is the difference? Okay, first three we don't have any chance to select. Okay, 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 that's one different. Okay, doesn't have a unit. Doesn't have a unit. First three represent the answer of a calculation. Very good, Hani. Very good. First three represent, it comes from a calculation. Okay. What about this one? Second one. Second one, okay, this is actually we enter a word. This is our text. This is a text. But if you look at these three, these are calculations. Okay, these are variables. These are variables. First three, if you look at the first three, right? These are variable. Look at this one. Area is a variable. F is a variable. Distance mile is a variable. But adult is what? It's a text. This is a text. Is that clear? Is that clear? First, if you look at the previous example, that's why I send, repeated reminders. Even I send message to your parents to do those homeworks. So except like 4 or 5 students, all of others did. So you know these examples now. So okay, these three are variables. Okay, these three are variables. But the last one is not a variable. Adult is a word. It's a word. So when you display a word, in flowchart, you have to display within double quotation. So how do you display? You have to say display the word adult. Can you understand the difference? So we have to correct this one. You have to display it within double quotation. That is very important. This is, if you don't do that, that is wrong, right? This is not like a good programming practice, but if this is a must, you have to display within double quotation. See, with double quotation. You can edit you can add this into your answers, into your notes. So this is display adult because you know why. If you want, you can note it down. This is a text. So you are displaying a message adult. Here again the child part. Again here what? Child is a text, not a variable. So if you display a variable, you can just say display mile, display temperature. But if you are displaying a text, you should include within double quotations. You should include within double quotation. So you can note down this in with the, maybe along this example display. Is that clear? Okay, let's do an exercise now. Okay, write down this one. Right, enter second one, enter student marks enter student marks. Second one, enter student marks. Enter student marks, and if mark is more than or equal to 35, display as pass. Display as pass. See? Otherwise, you have to display as fail. Very simple one. Okay, can you do this one? Enter student marks, and if marks is more than or equal to 35, more than or equal to 35, display as pass. Otherwise, so show or display as fail. Right, okay, do this one. Okay, try very simple one. You can do this one. Okay, try to do this one, and you can WhatsApp me if you have a phone. You can WhatsApp me the answers. If you have any questions, please, you can ask me. Maybe you can call me and ask, or you can WhatsApp me, right? Or maybe you can use any medium, right? You can talk to me. But if you have a question, please ask me, right? I don't know whether they are going to be able, I don't know whether they are going to, I mean, whether they will be able to continue the schools now. I don't know. Things are not in a positive direction. It's not moving in positive direction. I don't know. So if you have a doubt, this is a very important question. Usually, so they ask, I mean, this is the first unit, no? So whatever happened, so you should finish first unit, right? So you will get questions from this unit, whatever happened to the country. So input marks is okay. You can just say marks. Yeah, you can just say marks here, because when you want to differentiate, let's say you have 2 marks. Let's say you have 2 marks, then you can say maybe no mark. Let's say you have 2 marks. Like let's say ICT marks and maths marks. So you can say ICT marks. That is one. Then you have maths marks. In that case, you can use 2 variables. If not, if it is a common thing, you just use marks. Okay, I will go through your answers, Rida and Raisa, and maybe after the class. And if anything, I will get back to you. Right? Now, yes. Okay, okay, Rida. Great. What is this? Okay, Rida. You have to put yes and no's in the branches of this condition box. We say condition box or the diamond. You have to put yes and no. Maybe yes and no. Correct that one. Yes, Ridas, yeah, fine. Answer is fine. Who is this? Riza, there's a mistake. Okay, okay, now you're saying input marks, say input marks. Okay, Riza, when you check the condition, can you say x is greater than or equal to 35? There's two things. So what is x now? What is x, Riza? And can you use this symbol now? Can you use greater than like this? No, that is maths. So you should use greater than or equal like this. So correct your answers. Yes, Hani, perfect, correct, very good. Yes, Athika, that's, yeah, perfect, good. Right. Okay, Fried, your answer also correct. Just, okay, don't think like, okay, sometimes, okay, when you draw this one, right, when you draw this one, okay, I will explain that. Maybe your answer is correct, right? But, you know, yes. Here, when you draw this one, maybe you can, you know, there's no rules that you have to connect these two, right? What I'm saying is, okay, that we also find, okay, let's leave that one. Okay, that is clear, right? That is clear. I hope that is clear. Yes, it's very similar. It's very similar to the example. So I will check others' answers after the class. I will take time and I will do that. Now, yes, maybe if you ask, yeah, we can do this way also if you want. Yes, this is also fine. Yes, Shihan, where's your answer? Please, girls, I don't see some of your answers. Nirukshi, Kirtika, Shihan, Huda, right? Very similar. If you don't understand, please talk to me. Right. Yeah, this way also you can do. That's not wrong. This way also you can do. Okay, now let's take this example. Very simple. It's very similar one. Okay, here, what should be the what is the input here? What is the input? Again, you can input the marks, right? Marks, right? That is the question. Right? Marks is the input. Okay. Now, what is the condition here? How do you check the condition? Now you are saying input the marks, and can you say x greater than or equal something like this? No, because x is not defined. Don't use like that. So what you have to check here? After taking the marks, what you have to check? You have to check the marks, right? You have to check the marks, right? Anyway, we will do some, we are going to do another example, so don't leave the class. Class is not over, right? Okay, now look at this one. Look at this one. How do we do this one? We check the marks, right? See, Shihan, see, we check the marks. If the marks is greater than or equal, is that 18? No, no. What is the limit? 35. Okay, here 35. Then, or maybe you can include that. If or maybe even if you don't include, that is okay. Even if you don't say if, that is correct, because you know this box means the diamond means condition. So even if you don't write if, that's fine. But even if you include this if, that's also fine, right? So let's write like this. For marks is greater than 35, greater than or equal 35, right? What happened? If the condition is true, you have to display what? You have to display pass. Okay. Or if not, if no, you have to display what? Fail. Maybe I'm using just capital. It depends, right? If you want to display capital pass, you can use capital. If not, you can use simple, right? And also you have to include within double quotation. Then you can finish this like this. Maybe if you want, you can put this in here, or maybe if you want, you can put in here. Either way, that's fine, right? But the thing is, the n should be the last one. This box, n box, this should be your last option, last part, right? This should be the last one. So you start with the start and you end with the end. That's the rule. That's the rule. And you should connect all the arrows to that. Can we write like this? If mass greater or equal 35? Yes, no, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, what is the problem? I didn't understand. Who's this? Mayada. Marks greater or equal 35. Yeah, that's how you. But okay, yeah, you can write without writing the if, right? Is marks. Yes, yes, that's also fine. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sometimes some people use like this. Yeah, this is also fine. Is marks. This is also fine with a question mark. Yeah, that's also fine. But even okay, let's maybe let's try to use unique, I mean, a unique method, right? So then it would be easy. Okay, if mass greater than 35, this is the answer. Is that clear now? Is that clear? Okay, third question. If you want, you can note down this. You can write down this answer. Maybe if you are not clear, you can write down the answer. I will check others' answers. If you have completed, please send me the answers. I will go through your answers. If anything, I will give you a feedback. If your answer is fine, maybe I won't give you a feedback. Okay. Shall we write down? Shall we do another question before we wind up? Third one. Third question. Enter the basic salary of an employee. Enter the basic salary of an employee. If the basic salary is more than, I'm going to change, more than rupees 40, more than rupees 40,000, then categorize the employee as senior. Right? Enter the basic salary of an employee, and if the basic salary is more than 40,000, then categorize the employee as senior. Otherwise, categorize the employee as junior. Yes, Sarah, the previous answer is okay. Hani, I said okay, no? Yeah, fine. Okay, good. So, yeah, can you do this then? Enter the basic salary. So you can do this one. Write down the fourth question. Write down the fourth one. You try this also. Finding whether a number is odd or even. The fourth one. Finding, you have two questions. So write down the third one, then the fourth one. Finding whether a number is odd or even. Display even or odd as input. That means, okay, you have to enter the number. You have to enter a number. Let's say, okay, you're asking the user to input the number. Input the number. Okay, now let's say user entering a number like 8. Then you have to display this is an odd number. Or if the user input like 9, then you have to display as this is an even number. Okay, that is the question. Finding whether a number is odd or even. Display even or odd as output. Now here I have given a clue. You have to use the reminder. This is the formula. Reminder equal number mod 2. I will explain this. Number mod 2. Reminder equal number mod 2. So two questions, right? enter the basic salary of an employee, and if the basic salary is more than 40,000, then categorize the employee as senior. This is, I think this is very similar to the previous one, but the fourth one is little different. I mean, it's easy. Okay, now fourth one, finding whether a number is odd or even, display even or odd as output. That means, I mean, this if this is not, if this question is not clear, maybe you can add this. Basically, you have to enter a number, and check the number whether it's even or odd, and you should display a message. If it is even, you should display even. If it is odd, you should display odd. That is the idea. Is that clear? Okay, now with this fourth one. So I have given a tip now. Okay, now if I go to new page, okay, now just try to understand. So you have to do both question after the class. Sir, our class teacher said in a diamond, when decision making years must be come down. No. Why is that? You can go through the past papers and see decision making must come down. No, that is, I don't know why they are saying like that. It can be in any side, this side or this side, right? Okay, because, okay, I have a question like this. Rinas, our class teacher said in a diamond, when decision making, years must come down. Years must come down. So you say always you put years. No, it's because there's no rule that like that, because you can interchange this. You can see the past papers, right? Anyway, I will check this. I don't know, but we have learned. We have not. This is not correct in us. I think I'll check that. Okay, right. Now we'll come to this one. The last, third, fourth question. Now you are entering a number. You're asking the user to input a number. Let's say you are asking the user to input a number. Input number. Let's say a user is entering 20. Okay. Now, how do you decide this is a even or odd number? What is the calculation? How do you find it? How do you find this one? That is the important part. Yes, go ahead.
Divide the last digit by 2.
Yes, the last digit by 2, but simply what you can do is, if you have a number, if you divide this number by 2, right, that is 10. What is the remainder in this case? What is the remainder? If you divide this number 20 by 2, right, we know there is no remainder. Am I right? So it's 10. So remainder is 0. So we say if remainder is 0, then this is even number. We have a number, let's say we have a number, let's take 11, or let's say 13. If you divide this by 2, what is the remainder? So remainder is 1. Am I right? Remainder is 1. So, okay, if there is a remainder, if remainder is 1, we say that is an odd number. You can apply this to any number, right? Very simple one. You take any number, see, so we can find the remainder by using, what is that operator? So when we know that is, when you learn other languages like Python or C, you are going to, I don't know, you are going to complicate the things, because we are not learning, we are not, I'm saying whoever knows some other language, programming language, yes, we use different operators for this. Then you are going to like, you are maybe, this is like flowchart is independent from the programming language syntax. So don't put the programming thing into the flowcharts. Okay, this is very simple. So forget about the Python or Pascal, whatever. So we'll come to that later. So we are not worrying about that symbols. Okay, now How this is how, okay, if you want you can note down this is the basic idea. You divide it and you find the number. Note down if you don't know, please note down if you don't know. Right, in flow chart, right? Okay, now in flow chart, how do we find this reminder, right? Basically, right, we use, okay, you can use R or reminder. Let's say reminder. If you want to find a reminder, what you have to do, okay, if you want to find a reminder, you have a number. Let's say you have a number, 20. So you divide, sorry, you take the number. Look at this one. You take the number, let's say 20, and there is a thing called mod operator, mod, mod by 2. That means if you use, this is not a mathematical operator, right? This is not a mathematical operator. If you say mod 2, right? If you have a number mod 2, this gives us the reminder, right? It's like this. So, okay, you have a number 20. If you say mod 22, what would be the answer? What is the answer? What is the answer? If you say 20 mod 2, what is the answer? Very good, Rida. Yes. So answer here, answer would be 0, 0, right? It's not like this. Okay, if you divide, if you like say 20 divide by 2, what is the answer? If you 20 divide by 2, what is the answer? That is 10. That is simple, no? But okay, that is 10. But if you say 20 mod 2, that means this will give you the reminder, that is 0. This is reminder, sorry. So you can note down this, you can note down reminder. This is the reminder. So if you say 20 mod 2, the answer is 0 because the reminder is 0. Okay, note down this. Before you do the fourth question, you should have an idea about this. So I will finish it within 2-3 minutes, don't worry. Okay, I will do another example, then it will be easy for you. Okay, let's take another example. Let's say, okay, look at this one. We have a number, let's say, okay, we have a number like, okay, 15 mod 2. Okay, can you guys send me the answers? 15 mod 2. Yes, Rima, what is the answer? 15 mod 2. 1, yes. So 15 mod 2 means you divide the 15 by 2, that is 7, 14, but the remainder should be the answer. Remainder should be the answer. So 15 mod 2 equal 1. So this is the answer. Or if you take, okay, let's say 10 mod 2, what is the answer? 10 mod 2. What is the answer? 10 mod 2. 10 mod 2, you divide the 10 by 2, 5, 5 into 2, 10, then remainder is 0. So this is the answer, 0. Is that clear? So if you take something like this, 13 mod 2, what is the answer? What is the answer? 13 mod 2? Ah, very good. So 1. Now you know, right? Now let's take another one. 8 mod 2. What is the answer? 8 mod 2. 8 mod 2. 8 mod 2 is 0. Yes. Now you can understand. See now. Okay. Now look at these reminders. If reminder always reminder either 0 or 1. Look at this one. Any number reminder either 0 or 1. So if the reminder is 0, we say this number is even. If the remainder is odd, we say this is an odd number. This is the idea. You can note down this. Okay, using this knowledge, try to draw the flow chart for question number 4. Using this knowledge, try to draw the flow chart for question number 4. Is that clear now? The mod is, maybe this is new to you. Okay. Different programming languages use this mod operator in a different symbol. They use different symbols. So, but the idea is same. So don't confuse with the programming languages. This is independent from programming language. Flowchart is independent from programming languages. Fourth question, Zuhra, I will be sending the question in the WhatsApp group. Okay, is that okay? You can copy down the question. Okay, so any question? Is mod is clear? So now you can try this one. Okay, then. I'm also tired. Thank you very much for joining with